This is my mom and dad, Mary and Jeff. This is my sister, Tessa. This is me, Colin. Hold up, guys. This episode needs a warning. In the past 2 episodes in this series, we interviewed my family members, visited the farmhouse where my mother was raised, and learned that maybe it's my family that's haunted and not the house. We had no idea of the truths that we would come to learn through this entire process. And let me tell you, the things that happened to me in that house still haunt me to this day.
When it comes to the spirits, I'd say that I've never felt in danger when it comes to my experiences with them, but I don't think that they're here to harm us or disturb us in any ways. So yeah, I guess they're good, but
you still think it's freaky in the house?
Yeah, but I'm still very freaked out by what I've experienced in this house, and I'm definitely okay with moving.
And you don't like being in here alone?
No, I will not stay in here alone. And at nighttime, it's very creepy.
We really didn't have any activity for maybe a couple months, maybe up to about a year. And then slowly things started to happen again. And Jeff and I were in the bedroom one day just talking, and we were in our closet. We have a walk-in closet. And all of a sudden, we had just a plastic glass on our nightstand, and that came off the nightstand and flew across the bathroom floor. And we thought Tessa was in the house.
It just like rolled
Yeah,
across.
and it was just
someone threw it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it fell because we've got carpet in there. It was something had to actually throw it, because then it went rolling across and hit the wall. So that was totally freaky.
Yeah.
And then just started to hear, like, we'd be watching TV downstairs and footsteps, and so we'd always stop whatever we're watching and ask, if Jeff's home or is Tessa home, and never have anybody home.
It quieted down for a while after we got the house cleansed, but when I was coming home from college then, the next couple summers, my friends and I, we would go out back and do Ouija board sessions all the time. That was what we did for fun. We weren't filming it, we were recording it, we were just interested in the paranormal. And a couple of these times we had very extreme experiences. We did homemade Ouija boards. This one time we actually, I can't remember the word because it was so long ago, but we got a word that just seemed so odd that we had to look it up. And it had actually spelled out a name in Lakota Sioux, in Native American, in the language they speak. And it was, it meant something warrior. It was so weird. It was like a very specific name and word in their language. And we're like, oh my God, that's like really freaky. And we kept talking to it, and what it seemed like it was saying was that it was a Lakota Sioux warrior who had died in battle or potentially lived in the area, which makes sense with the Native American camps thing that we had learned earlier at the courthouse. And this was so trippy that night. Everyone got freaked out because we had a candle. We asked it to blow out the candle, and like the flame literally went from this, just shrunk down and then snuffed out. And I was with Nick, who's been on the show, and a couple other friends of ours, and he got really freaked out because it was the first time we had done a Ouija board that really worked like that. And he was like, I need to quit. So we closed the circle and whatnot. And still, this is probably one of my favorite paranormal experiences I've ever had, if not like the clearest thing to me. But I was sitting in my room once again at the end of the hallway, and I had locked my door, and I'm sitting there on my phone trying to go to bed. It was about 3 a.m. I was just freaked out by what happened, and my lamp next to my bed just went out like that, like it was on, and it just shut off, and I was in the pitch black. I'm like, okay, that's really freaky, what the hell? And I turned my light on my phone, and I just expected the lamp to be out, like the bulb burned out or something. So I went and I flipped the switch on the lamp, on, off, on, off, on, off. And I realized that it wasn't an issue with the lamp, because I looked down on the ground and the actual plug to plug into the wall had been yanked out of the wall, and it was like this far from the lamp. It had not just fallen onto the ground, it had been violently pulled out. And like I said, my door was locked, and I took a photo of it, and it's way back in my memories. But it's like that kind of stuff, it's like personal experiences that you're not filming. It's stuff that I have never filmed for the show. I couldn't have filmed because it just happened, but it was so strikingly real that it's always been there in my mind. And it's like one of those things that's just convinced me of, the existence of this stuff, because it's very real. But I haven't been in the house as much as everyone else has because I've been off in college. But it just, every time that I come back, it seems like more stuff happens. Like the last time we were here, my parents called me, and Jeff had his experience where something ran at him across this floor right here, and they were hearing voices. And all throughout my time, when I've been living in Austin, they've called me probably 100, 200 times just to tell me stories about something that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I had, just a number of knocks and bangs and, things that I'd be watching TV downstairs, and like a glass fell on the floor, and there'd never be anything up here when I'd come up and look. Recently I had, when Mary and Tessa were gone, I was sleeping in the master bedroom back here, and it literally sounded like somebody was running from the hallway to my room, like just literally. It got louder and stopped at my door, and I thought there was actually someone in the house when, as I told you, I got up and got actually a handgun that I never ever have done before. And I had to go around the whole house. I thought someone was in the house, and then I think you were gone maybe 2 or 3 days, and I actually, slept with a handgun on the nightstand next to me, which I've never done before.
Okay, so this is what you had that night?
This is it.
You were packing.
Yeah, 9mm Glock. Usually I keep it in my gun safe, so I just slept. Right here. Sleep in. Have the door closed. Came up to there. I got up, stopped, I went right in there and grabbed it, and then I came back out. The door was like this. It's lit pitch black. I just kind of opened the door. That's kind of what I did all the way through the house.
Crazy, was that real?
Yeah.
Had a gun.
Yep, and then it was a couple more nights that I slept with it.
Because you were all alone.
There. Yeah.
Weren't you hearing banging outside the window too?
Yeah, I heard some bangs outside the window. On that window, actually.
Almost like there was someone outside, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, but, well, kind of like someone, I would say someone maybe throwing something at the window instead of like, banging on the window.
Creepy.
Yeah. So that was very, very weird. And I called these guys each day to kind of give you an update. Like I said, I'd hear more noises. And I just you just kind of got used to just ignoring them, but lots of, lights and shadows and noises.
We had I was going down by Tessa's bedroom just to put clothes away too, and I heard the men's voices were back, and I thought that they were probably building the house next door, and so I thought they must be construction guys. So I just went and looked out Tessa's bathroom window, which is right next to on that side of the house. There wasn't anybody around, and so, but I could clearly hear men talking, and it is in that area that she would hear, close to her closet. So
I think we've had so many things happen. Like, you just kind of get used to it.
yeah, shadow.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm afraid of anything. I mean, the episode I told you about someone running towards my room, that actually, I had my heart racing. I thought someone was actually here, and they obviously weren't. But most of the time it's a noise or a shadow, even a TV will go on or anything like that. You just kind of get used to it, and in an odd way, you kind of live with it and think it's just spirits that are here.
Hello, I'm Jackson Dice. I'm Colin's friend from when we were a wee bit young, and I've been in this house ever since they first got it, really. And I don't know, the biggest thing that I noticed when I first got here is that the whole back area, it's like only a bit of it is actually concrete and living area, and the rest of it is just trees and just looking out into like the abyss of nothing. Every once in a while we'll go and we'll like hot tub outside and we'll just chill out there during the night with some friends, and I've always thought it's just a bit eerie out there, and it's never been comforting. It's definitely not just something like, I don't know, especially super late at night is when we're normally hanging out, and that is just kind of adds to the effects. I've slept over here multiple times in high school and sometimes in middle school, and the guest bedroom downstairs is just always just super creepy to me because everyone is upstairs and I'm the only one downstairs.
It's different.
It's different, yeah. I've been around, we've done a lot of Ouija boards around here, and we've gone out to different burial sites like Gitche Manitude, which is a place that we used to go and it's known to be haunted in the Sioux Falls area. And coming back, I feel like something always gets brought back with us, and I feel like it's never it just doesn't feel normal. Especially like with Colin, like even just being around him, that's probably one of the biggest things is like he goes on all these investigations and stuff, and it's like he's bringing all these spirits behind him, and now they're just like gonna attach onto me and like murder me at night while they're I don't know.
Is obviously, it's attached to the house. It might be attached to me. Maybe I have something that is attached to me that I bring along with me, and it pisses whatever is here off. I have no explanation because I don't understand how this stuff works. I'm not going to pretend to know how it works, but it's definitely some sort of an energy because it constantly manifests. Even some of my friends used to not want to even step foot in the basement because they thought it was too creepy. I've had people come up to my room in the middle of the night from the basement and knock on my door and ask if they can sleep in my room with me because they were hearing noises. In my room I have all these weird relics from travels. I have like cemetery dirt from Salem that I collected, a bunch of twigs from Sleepy Hollow, this devil mask from Mexico that the guy that I bought the mask from said was haunted. I have these masks from Puerto Rico that supposedly ward off evil spirits, and the list just goes on and on, all this memorabilia and weird stuff. So I feel like that also could be drawing the energy in to that part of the house just because there's all these weird macabre relics. I just had so many things happen in the room, just hearing the voices, and even sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see a glowing white light above my door where I had the devil mask that's supposedly haunted, where that thing was hanging. I kept seeing this white glowing light, and I didn't have my contacts on, so I couldn't really see, but it was there, and I could just see it glowing and glowing, and I'd turn my lamp on, and it would go away, and I'd turn it back off, and it would be there. But at the end of the day, I don't know what's in the house, but it's always followed me. The question has always haunted me of who or what is here and why won't they leave? Like, what do they want? But to me, it's always been a mixture of interesting and like not scary and like really scary activity. Because there have been times when we've been in this house when I've wanted to leave because the paranormal activity has been way too intense and way too frightening. And every person in my family will tell you that because we've all been scared shitless by whatever lives inside this house with us. But what can you do? There's not really, much more to my side of the story. There's just countless incidents, but it's hard to remember them all because they all blend together. But yeah, that's my, quarter of the family haunting story. Do you have anything else that's happened when I was in college? I know you've had a lot more.
It just always seemed like it would get more active when you came home. Mm-hmm. Like it would not be as much. Once in a while we would call you and say, like, that glass fell, or you think you hear something fall in the laundry room. Mm-hmm. But it always seemed to pick up. So I think you might bring something into the house.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you still enjoyed your time here.
Yes, I love this house.
Yeah.
I never felt scared, or I would be a little bit scared, but it's a beautiful house, beautiful area. We've got a beautiful view, and we had a lot of happy memories here.
Yeah.
But it's still haunted.
It's still something definitely in this house.
There are stories that we had to leave out for time, but at this point, I think that you can tell that our house was extremely haunted. Maybe there are some graves in the undeveloped woods next to our house, or some relics still in the dirt beneath it. That's something that we will never have a chance to dig into. I dug through my phone archives and managed to find a few old clips of paranormal activity happening, from TVs glitching to multiple nights where our house alarms alerted in the middle of the night as if someone had opened the front door.
Okay, I'm just sitting upstairs playing guitar, not even touching the remote. And I just did the spirit ceremony last night to invoke spirits. And I keep pausing the TV. And then I don't know how much longer, but in like a little bit it keeps coming unpaused. And both right there. I have no idea how that's happening. Both my parents are outside. You can see my mom down there watering, and she's talking to my dad right now. I just came to turn my light on in here, and of course my light. Jesus Christ, the light just went out. Third alarms.
We had some really good times in our house. Animals would just come and die on our property. We found deer impaled on the gates around our house, rabbits mauled and decapitated left right at our front door by neighborhood cats, and even dead pets on the street. This should show you that there was definitely something strange about the property. That's why, earlier this year, we reunited the original group of psychics who originally cleansed our house, including my friend Donna O'Day, and had them return for another read of the home 5 years later.
Physical discomfort, quite a lot actually. There's somebody here with us right now who had extreme nervous problems, and sometimes would actually faint, would just faint from that issue. It feels like a woman. She's been in this house probably for about a year. She's here for help. She's here for medical help. Do you sometimes hear like uneven walking? Do you hear sometimes strange sounds like that on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
That's her.
That's Mary in the other room saying yes.
Yes, it always sounds like people are walking.
She can't. I'm gonna have to hang on to something. No, it's okay. I'll just hang on to something. But oh God. Okay. She's looking at me right now, and she's saying, "Well, I certainly hope you can help me." She said she's been long enough like this, and she said, "Now you know how I feel. Now you know how I shake." She said, "Nobody ever knew that. Nobody ever believed me when I was living."
A little angry?
Yeah, me. I didn't do anything to her. We're going to have a little trouble helping her, I think. Do you ever have corn on the cob?
Jeff? Yeah, you have a lot of corn.
Corn on the cob? Okay. And you cook it here? In your kitchen? But you haven't had any recently? Well, how long do you expect her to wait? She's waiting for corn on the cob. Yeah, she said it's bad enough nobody can see me, nobody pays any attention to me. I go like this, nobody pays any attention to me, and she said, here I am shaking and shaking, and all I want is corn on the cob.
Does it feel like someone who's attached to the house or to one of us?
She's been here for about a year. Did you visit some farmland about a year ago?
Almost a year ago, we went to Edinburgh Manor in Iowa, which is an old poor farm, which are housed mentally unstable patients.
That's where you got her.
What Donna says here is extremely strange because just last year we visited the notorious Edinburgh Manor in Iowa, an abandoned poor farm and mental institution. The property around Edinburgh Manor is 100% farmland, and to get to the building you have to drive 15 minutes through straight grass and crops. It's crazy that she was able to pinpoint this location as a possible source of our haunting.
Okay, she followed you. She followed you home.
And that's what I've always felt a lot of the spirits have been. People that have been with us when we've been in these places and have come back and they like the house.
Well, she thought she was going to get some medical attention finally, she says. Finally, because nobody would listen to her. And then she said, then you can't hear me. You can't see me. Mostly right now, I think she just wants to gripe.
And is she in this room specifically?
She's here. She's in this room. Oh, she's transferring those feelings to me again. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, now she's starting to cry. And she's saying, I don't mean to hurt people. I don't mean to scare people. She said, all I want is help. Can you help me? I think we can, but she'll have to listen to us. She'll have to listen to what we say. She'll have to do what we say. She's pointing at you, Colin, and she's saying, you should know, you should know. She goes, I mean, she went from sympathy and quiet to now she's angry again. You should know what to do, you should know what to do. She's kind of nasty. Okay. She's mad at all of us. Wow. This is at me now. She said, you're the big fat expert. Why don't you do something? Holy mackerel, what are we gonna do with her?
What can we do? Does anyone else feel really hot? Or is it temperate in here?
I was, but I'm not so hot now.
Because I'm like sweating this whole time since I came in the house. I'm like just covered in sweat for some reason.
Okay. Well, I think what we should do is we should all form a circle
Okay.
and put her in the middle. I'm going to keep hanging on to this. Okay. Bertha or Beatrice? A name like that?
You have a grandma Bertha?
Bertha? Okay, she's coming in to help us. I hope she's up for this. Okay, she's trying to talk to her. There's somebody named Walter coming in. Walter? He's here to help. And they're talking to her. This is difficult because she is not sane. Okay, then there's a little dog that just this is not a big dog, this is a little dog, like a wire hair. He doesn't need to be groomed, but he's bouncing around in here. Does anybody recognize Coco?
What the? He's dead too.
Okay,
Whoa.
that's Coco. Okay, I am covered with chills and I
Same. Whoa.
It feels better compared to what I've been through.
I'm feeling really hot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Sweaty. So sweaty.
So we've got, okay, sorry. She's going like this and so is your grandma. Oh. She's like, oh, nonsense.
I never knew her, but I believe her.
She's saying something to this woman. She's talking to her privately. The rest of us don't have to hear that. It's privately. Okay, whatever she said, she's responding to that. And this woman who's here, who's asking for our help, who wants our help, who doesn't want our help, we can help her to understand that if she goes to the light, that there's a lot more she'll know, that she'll be able to see around corners.
Yeah.
If she goes to the light, she won't have to scare people, she won't have to be angry. And she said, oh, I get it. And she's absolutely lighting up. And she said, I didn't understand this. I never understood this. She said, that's why I was sick in the first place. She said, life is not about yourself, getting for yourself. She said, life is about helping other people. That's what it's about. I miss that completely. She said, now I get it. And her whole demeanor has changed. And she's saying thank you to all of us. And she's going with Grandma and Walter and Coco. She's going.
I've had something on my right leg this whole time. And like this, it's like all my hairs are standing. I got this white don't have anything here, I don't think, you know?
That must have been Coco.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You've
like,
got
oh, I
you've got a
this
fresh scratch right there
is like,
of some
like
sort.
on my leg. Just like
Yeah.
my hair is like.
You didn't scratch
I
yourself?
feel- No.
Unless,
Yeah, my other leg.
my sister's dog.
See?
Nothing on there. Nothing on
It's
there.
completely clean.
Yep.
Yeah, Coco.
See my hair is standing
Well,
up.
you've got like, yeah, white scratches right
I feel
there.
like there's been like something on there.
I know.
Yeah, that's what you said at the beginning too. Wow.
Okay, well, I think that's your problem. I brought my little omnibus.
Oh, we have to use that. You know, this is so strange.
Ancient. This is ancient.
You want to know what's really odd though?
What?
Today, the episode we released, this is so bizarre, was the first time we've used an ovulus since our last episode with you. I didn't ask her to bring that either.
No, I
Saw that too. I was like,
Really? And we just released that today. It was supposed to be out yesterday, but we were traveling.
Yeah,
So-
we were going out the door and I just thought, hey, and I ran back in and got this.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
so, cool.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Anything else or?
No, I had goosebumps for now.
and if you don't feel like there's anything, then you can just say that.
Well, I do though. And I think it's somebody from the Civil War. Does anybody collect old guns? Like old musket, or did anybody have anything like that?
My dad does.
Your dad does?
My dad does.
Has a musket?
I think so.
yeah, I had an uncle that collected a huge gun collection.
Did he have like old,
Yeah, huge. I mean,
like the kind you would go,
yeah, like he had, you know, I think there would be like probably Civil War all the way.
Yeah.
But he would do
Okay,
like
his-
almost museum quality.
okay, he's
Pieces.
crossed over.
He is, yeah.
He's the one who's been here, and he's the one who chased you that night.
He was not a very nice guy.
Really?
Just like
Uh-huh.
my cousin,
Mhm.
and who I've never seen him for like probably 30 years. I'd go out to their lake home, and he'd
Mm-hmm.
have guns like every space you could be. There'd be guns, all the walls. Well,
Yeah, it's him.
But he would beat.
Okay, you're
he would-
anti-gun.
He would beat up. Yeah, he would beat up beat him, and I'd have to take him, and he would be drinking, all the time. He was mean. Yeah, I was afraid
That's
of him.
him.
And he chased after Jeff then too, when you think about it, because none of us have ever had anybody run up on us.
Yeah.
It's just now,
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. It's him.
Whew. Yeah.
And we can really, speak to him on his level and just tell him to get the hell out of here. He can't hurt you anymore. He absolutely cannot. He's like a puff of wind. And he knows that, and that's why he's so angry. He was power obsessed, and you're not like that at all. And yet, you're more powerful because you're not like that. It takes real strength to give up the guns and to give up the hate.
Yeah, I've always said that about my cousin. It's like, it's weird he would come up. He's actually on my phone from a couple days ago. I showed him a picture, and I haven't seen a picture of him forever.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and my other uncles and stuff, I was always said, my dad died when I was 5.
Yeah.
And his mother died when he was like 5. And I said, well, you made a big thing of your life, you became an optometrist and made money, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of left him behind, but his dad was mean, and I always sympathized with him and always kind of stood up for him. I have tons of cousins that were kind of against him, but I was always like, man, he had a hard life. I saw him beat up, many times, and But yeah, anyway, he was very protective of his guns, you know, like if you touched one or anything that had to be right, like, you know, you walk into a room and you move the thing a little bit, he would accuse us of doing that, you know, things like that. They would, I just remember him, we beat him in the back and I'd grab him, we'd run, and
Oh, boy.
so yeah, it's scary.
Oh,
individual.
so yeah, so a lot of emotion generated there.
Oh,
Well, I don't think he'll bother you in this house anymore. And if you hear that again,
yeah,
because he is kind of ornery,
oh yeah.
tell him to get the hell out of here. He has to go. But I don't think you can be, now you really shouldn't be here. You know, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to talk to him on his level or he
Yeah.
won't hear you.
Yeah, that's weird how we get a gun too, you know. Like I never have ever done
Bet
that.
you never do that.
Never have done that.
Yeah, that night you got a gun.
Yeah, never have.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
had
Wow.
a gun out.
Do you have any bullets for it?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
don't.
so do you know a Charles? It's here.
Goodbye. String.
String. Remember last time we were in here, Donna said she saw those strings coming down from the ceiling?
That's weird.
And yeah, that's really odd, isn't that?
And it says a goodbye.
It was when she finally cleansed whatever was in the room. You said at the end you saw the strings
Yeah, they're.
coming down from the ceiling.
Goodbye to
There was a goodbye on the ovulus that you
Oh,
had.
maybe it's because we're in this room. It's
That's such a weird. I just remember that vividly from that her saying that seeing strings coming from the
I'm
ceiling.
glad you guys remember because
I remember goodbye.
it's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And then it was a woman, right? Didn't the woman see Jesus?
Yes, yes, uh-huh.
And went wow or something?
Yep.
It was-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't remember any of that. You'll probably think of it later.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of. Charles. I think it was my Chuck.
What?
Well,
Just people call me Chuck all the time. You know.
What?
Yeah.
they mistake his
All the
name.
time.
Yeah.
Like
Are you
When you,
serious?
yeah.
everywhere, if it's Greece or New York or
Is,
Florida.
is Chuck short for Charles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like an ongoing joke for years.
Oh my God.
So many times.
Oh.
And actually, I had a wireless internet come up on our airplane flight that was Chuck to, you know,
Oh,
with the
because
name of
just
the
weird.
internet.
Uh-huh.
I've done it. It's been 100 times.
Oh my God.
okay,
People
so
think
I
I'm
know
Chuck.
what this was coming from your uncle. And have you been jogging?
Jogging
Yeah.
Running to the airport?
just at the airport.
Yeah.
Actually, though,
I was
yeah.
like, you're giving me a lot of crap over me because
Oh.
I was like, complete. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. Yesterday, last time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, I can't keep going. I can't.
And I'm like, Jeff, we have to run. We have to
I
go.
can't. I gotta stop because I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, so I think that what we're getting here is get the lead out, Chuck.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what Colin basically
Yeah.
was telling me.
So
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe we'll
freaky.
discover it.
Yeah.
What did it say when it was talking?
It said lead. But okay, so I think that what we're getting here is get the lead out, Chuck.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what Colin basically
Yeah.
was telling me.
So
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we go to Colin?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
This room I've always felt also had just negative energy. This is where.
Yeah.
Is this the Ouija board room?
Mm-hmm. And my
I
friend,
remember that.
he saw a mask fly off the wall. I heard a woman, or not a woman, just something crawling on all fours around the bed. Like the second week that we moved in, I always used to see.
This doesn't have the greatest energy.
Even to this day, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Just sleeping in here, hear
Totally
stuff.
Oh, that.
That little this guy we bought in Salem.
Yeah.
So it's not the best, but we
No.
just, Colin thought it looked cool at first.
What
So.
is that? It's
Well, I think we were thinking of somebody actually.
Well, Enemy, you're supposed to burn it.
You want to know?
I might suggest you burn that thing.
Donna, he has a mask just like you do. From Puerto Rico.
Oh, like the one you, one you brought. Yeah.
we were in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Yeah, I just got back a couple months ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw those. I was like, yes. And
That's right.
that's the mask that flew off the wall too.
Really?
Back when.
That gives me goosebumps because we were getting a hat again on the hat stores down in Old San Juan, and one of those flew off. And the guy who was making the hat just picked it up and he goes, "Oh, other evil spirit," and put it up. Because they're supposed to attack spirits.
Warded off.
Ward off.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Probably what it was doing.
that's really
I can't
weird.
remember that what they're called. There's a special name for them.
We got hats.
Ooh, I got a little chilly. Yeah.
We got hats.
We got the little.
Yeah, the little feather I had, the feather in my hat.
No, it could be that somebody who was building the room, that had some bad energy going on, something awful happened in their life, and the walls remember, the wood remembers.
This room also gets very hot.
Always hot.
Always hot. No matter what.
Even last night.
This is a controlled,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend a lot of
Environment.
time in here.
Well, thanks, Donna.
Well, yeah, but you'll be moving.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Shall we see if we get anything on the ambulance?
Sure.
Provide. Show.
Provide show.
Is Tessa home?
She's downstairs.
What are you going to do with this information?
You gonna put it in the show?
Yeah. Film it. I just started rolling again.
Weird.
Literally. I paused it
You
until.
want to take a picture?
Sure, please.
Stay.
Man, I need to get an Ovilus again.
Well, hurry up.
I know. Okay.
Did you get
Here you
it?
go. Yep, we got it.
Okay.
Did you hear a noise out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basement.
basement.
Well, I'm not
Oh,
going
well,
down there.
Tessa's in the basement
You
because she
go
doesn't
down
feel
there.
good.
Yeah, we could take it out
Yeah.
down there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you, no.
So,
Yeah.
Yes, you should do it.
We're gonna investigate later tonight too, so.
Okay.
That's weird that also seems to focus on Tessa a lot of times, and she's in the basement right now.
Yeah. And she wants nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
oh, it's
You'll be
scary.
selling a lot of these.
But nothing overall you feel in here? Nothing.
Well, I don't feel anything good in here, and I just would soon get out of here.
Yeah,
Just-
I felt like I was
Yeah.
being stabbed a while.
Just more, just energy.
Yeah, that's a bad
Yeah,
energy room.
it's energy.
100%.
Well, I used to have all the relics too that I collected in here.
Do you have this happen in Austin?
Yeah, our apartment is very haunted. Southern, just said Texas.
Oh.
Weird. What are the odds of that happening? Southern, right when they asked about my or our apartment. As a whole, would you say that it doesn't feel nearly as full of energy as it did before? Because I feel like the first time it was every room we
It
had.
was everywhere. Remember in the kitchen?
I'd cut my finger that day.
Yeah.
And you instantly came in and said, "Who's got a cut on their finger?" And I was holding the camera like this, and it appeared on my hand because I didn't know how it even happened. It was like, "It's right here." And you're like, "Oh."
We had just been arguing about it. Like I was
Yep.
telling you, you had to have bled a lot. How could you not notice that huge cut? We were late getting here, and we came behind you guys, and then Donna walks and goes, "Does somebody have a cut right here, right on your exact finger?"
Yep.
I'm just lucky my finger didn't bleed, because sometimes it does.
Huh.
So when
Yeah.
do you
Interesting.
know
Yeah, it
where
is.
you're moving? I mean, do you know where you're going?
No.
Going, wow.
What?
I just said,
Yeah. And you literally said "going" as it said "going."
Yeah.
You literally said, "You know where you're going," and it said "going."
Well, my point is, you should bless the house that you move into.
Okay.
You should bless it and, like, dedicate it to your family, so you don't get this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Good energy.
That's a big word.
Sacra res.
Saccharis, what is that?
How's it spelled?
S-A-C-R-A-R-E-S?
Yeah, okay.
Could that be,
Sacred. No, it's not C-R-A-P-E-S, isn't it?
No.
Sacra.
No, that's an R. Sacro
It's an R.
res.
The sacred reality lying behind the sign, for this sacred reality is the thing signified of a sacrament, says St. Augustine, is the sign of a sacred reality.
That's a really weird word.
Yeah. Right, we were talking about angels.
Angels too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see that? I see, yeah.
I'm going to give you an eye test.
Wow, that's a really weird word.
But overall, you'd say better energy in here.
Better, definitely.
But I think the consensus was over there felt worse.
Yeah, that
And
was.
then the heat and
Yeah.
when the lady was here, that was weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm even just getting hot out here again.
I am too.
Suddenly.
I'm cold. Mudroom?
Yep.
No.
Tomorrow.
You have some very busy spirits out here.
Wow.
Do you feel any other human spirits in the area?
Helping spirits. No, I don't feel any humans at all. And else we can do?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, I don't
I like to take a bath. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like a bath guy. Like
Yeah.
every night to
With that
relax.
beautiful view.
Yeah, well, it seems like, and then I see things like over here all the time. Like someone just passed by.
I've seen that too in here, and I've taken a bath a couple times in here.
Were you beaten as a kid?
Well, I had an abusive stepfather that was alcoholic, but I wasn't beaten like my cousin, but I was beaten verbally a lot.
Did he sneak up on you?
This sounds really weird, but he would come to my door at night and stand outside my door, and he would. It's
Life
interesting.
just did
Yeah.
something in you.
Yeah, did you that? Did you that?
No.
No.
Nobody's been involved.
But he would actually pass gas.
Oh, okay.
Tacky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tacky's a good word.
That's why you feel apprehensive, and that's why you feel like there's something out there. There isn't. That's a conditioned response.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when, have a talk with yourself,
Yeah.
and when you feel that way again, you say, okay, this is not true, this is where I am now, this is what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
this is beautiful, I have a beautiful life, and concentrate on the moment, stay in the moment.
Yeah, I had a dream with him that I went up in my attic and he was on his bed and he was very peaceful and he apologized to me in my dream. It was, and I woke up like, oh, like
He can apologize,
he
but,
had his sin, like
but it's like I tell people, if somebody drops a rock on your foot,
yeah,
doesn't matter why, and it doesn't matter if they say, I'm sorry, your foot is still hurt.
yeah, no, it's
And-
that affected me lifelong. Yeah,
And so it doesn't have to anymore.
yeah.
Well, what's weird is now that the ovulus says crystal, and those lights that just flicker,
Yeah.
it's literally surrounded by crystals. And I think that said that before it happened too, almost like it predicted it in a weird way. It happened like when you were talking to him right at the beginning.
Well, see, nobody knows what electricity is. Nobody knows. I mean, we all talk about it, we all use it, but we don't know what it is. And I think it's a living intelligence, and I think it's the energy of the universe. I think it's electric.
I agree.
Said scientists now. Which that's all I know about that.
Show. What the hell? Religious.
What was that?
No, it was that way.
Oh, funny.
That's weird.
Why did it just do that? Did it just go out?
Well,
Last room of the upstairs.
oh, this? No?
Yeah. Yeah.
Consensus.
This has a good energy.
Good.
Yeah, there's nothing negative in here. There's worry. Have you been worried?
I'd say I have.
Well, I mean, I could understand why, but I mean, it's a chronic thing.
And we really don't have any place that we're going.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah. It's,
Well, I could see why you'd be worried, but this thing that kind of lives with you,
Like an anxiety?
yeah, kind of thing. But that's all I feel in here. Do you have trouble sleeping then because of that? Because of the anxiety?
Not really
Not so.
anymore.
I have a lot of trouble sleeping because of anxiety. A lot of times.
Yeah.
Always just so much to do.
Yeah, brain, like, can't turn it off.
There's the light again.
Is that what that was? Came back on?
Yep.
Isn't that fun? Okay, well, you guys probably need to
Go to sleep.
get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what Donna did was comforting, but I wanted answers. So, for my last night ever in my house, I decided to kick my family out and investigate the home completely alone, something that I had never actually done in the 5 years that we lived in the house. The footage that you are about to see is completely undoctored and raw. Okay guys, so as you probably already know, this is my last night ever in our house. This place has a lot of memories for me, but oddly enough, there was just a noise right there. Hello? And I was about to just say that I don't think it's going to be active in here, but that was kind of weird. That came from the laundry area. But I'm here in the house alone, and to end this episode, I'm just going to state right now that I don't think that this house's energy is something that can be investigated like we do normally on the show. It's not an always active energy. It's very rarely present, so I don't think I'm going to really get any sort of, evidence or answer to my questions when I'm here right now, but I knew that people would want me to investigate, so just for this final portion, I'm here alone in the house. It's pitch black. I've turned out all the lights. I'm actually a little creeped out because this place has always given me the creeps, but I'm gonna walk down to the hallway where Tessa and I have always experienced this negative activity and emotion, and I'm gonna ask a couple questions just to see if whatever's in here, if it's here right now, will respond to me and give me an answer that I've been looking for the last 5-6 years. Almost looks like Paranormal Activity, like the movies. A lot of memories in here. Is there anybody in here with me? If you're in here, it's been years now. We've never properly investigated the house. So can you step over to me? I know you've always wanted something from me. So what was it that you wanted? Like I said in the interview, the basement's always been pretty creepy. But this is where I'm going to spend my amount of time. And there's my old high school yearbook and the signed poster for my graduation party. Of course, it is Ghostbusters. I just heard someone out there, actually. Hello? To whoever is in this room and this end of the hallway, I don't know if I conjured you and brought you into this household through all of the Ouija boards I did, the strange and macabre items that I collected and brought into the house. Or I don't know, maybe you are someone or something that was here in the land before I was even here in the first place. But this is the last chance you have to give me a message or to get at me before I leave forever. So if you have something to say, or you have had something to say this whole time, I am begging you for an answer, and I would like a polite interaction with you if you're here. I used to stand here every day in high school and think, man, I wish I could have a successful paranormal YouTube channel. High school Colin would be proud. Can you knock on something or move something? If you are here in the house with me, there's another noise out in the hallway. If there's anybody here with me. Okay. The hell was that? Yeah, I definitely got that on camera too. Okay, something just moved out here. And I don't know if I would have to stop the tape, but I don't want to stop right now. I don't know if that was... God, this looks so shitty in here. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if that was something... I'm so hesitant to call something paranormal, but like... I don't know what would have moved. Nothing looks like it moved in here. This is all just stuff that's been laying here. We just got back from Greece last night. This is my last night in the house, like I said. But that sounded like something like hitting this. I don't know. I'm going to have to look back in the footage and see if any of this stuff moved around. Or I don't know. It didn't even sound like something moving. It sounded like almost like a knock. Weird timing too with something in the hallway. That was loud though. There was another noise out in the hallway. If there's anybody here with me. Okay. If there's anybody here with me. Okay. Was that you in here? All of a sudden I actually have a headache right here. And I feel like it just got like colder. I was saying earlier that I was really hot, but now it's feeling like chilly for some reason. Everything from my childhood. Zombie novels I used to read. My old Star Wars helmet that I painted with blood. The Wicker Man voodoo guy I got in Salem. My first electric guitar. Look at 2012, so it would have been a sophomore. Okay, that's me. There I am. Of course I'm in the crack. Sophomore year. Anyways, I'm gonna step into Tessa's room for a second. Is there anybody in this room who knows that they aren't welcome? Can you move something? Or use your voice? Just tell me who you are. It's been years that I've been wondering who you are. I just heard a whisper over that guitar noise, over that car noise. I just heard a knock right there. Remember, I'm home alone, guys. And this is creepy. No one actually wanted to come with me when I did this. I just heard something, but I don't know what it would be. Almost like a whisper, but it came from this direction. This is the last time that I'm ever gonna be here. So please, for me, can you tell me who you are and why you have followed me for so many years and at times tortured my family? Who are you? It's definitely really creepy in here. Like, I just got goosebumps. If there's anybody left in here, please give me a sign. This closet just gives me creepy vibes, always has. Look at it, just blurred out right on the closet. This is your final chance to let me know who you are. Anything? hallway definitely looks a little creepy. Well, like I said before, there's a lot of weird noises in here. Nothing extreme. Maybe I'll check the footage and find something. But I'm gonna call it a night for now. And yeah. Goodbye, house. I loved you. It was fun. But there's always a time to move on. In the darkness, my house is a very scary place. Shadows seem to loom and dance on the walls, every noise becomes threatening, and even walking alone down the hallway to get some water in the middle of the night can occasionally become a nightmarish situation. But in the light, it's very different. I loved that house. It was beautiful, and it was the one place that I could return to and truly feel at home. Needless to say, I was extremely sad to see it pass over into new hands, but it had to happen. So it's 8:30 a.m. right now. This is the last time I'm ever gonna be in the house. Just gotta say, it's really bittersweet. Had so many really good memories here, and I was up last night with Jackson talking about everything and just reminiscing on all the fun and dumb shit that we did here. And it's crazy just thinking I'll never, be back here again. So, to any of the spirits that were here when I lived here, thank you for showing me that you exist. These were some of my first paranormal encounters ever, and it took place right here in this house. So I hope you guys eventually find peace, and I thank you for everything that you did for me, and I hope that you'll treat the new owners with respect, because we're not going to be around anymore. But thank you again, and goodbye. It's always hard saying goodbye, but at the end of the day, you have to in life. Sometimes you don't want to go, but deep down in your heart, you know that you have to. At least I've got years and years of extremely fond memories to look back on that took place right there in that house. This is the last picture on my camera roll that I ever took in my house. Pretty fitting, right? It symbolizes so much more than a joke though. In reality, it means the end of a very important stage in my life that no matter how badly I'd like to, I can never return to. Finally leaving. We've said our goodbyes to the house. I have at least. And it's really a sad feeling. As I hugged my family goodbye, it hit me that this was the last time that I'd ever be at my house. My family was moving out, and I was headed back to Texas. It was definitely a bittersweet ending, and even though our haunting was scary, I wouldn't trade my experiences and life in that house for the world. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's Colin here. I'm signing off, and stay spooky.
Whoa.